good afternoon. From the wise words of Tat Mama and the Bag Brigade, take 2. This is take 3. Good afternoon. It's Monday. I slept in because I had an incredible weekend. It all started on Friday, late at night. Could be considered Saturday morning. Sarah Nickel from Southern California drove up to here, to where I live in Oakley, California, to attend the Dixon Lambtown Wool Festival. That was incredible. That was so much fun. Full day, packed so we couldn't walk not another step. Wonderful, wonderful. So Saturday morning we got up and we had breakfast and we got ready to go. Drove to Dixon, California, which is about an hour north of me. And the Lambtown Festival had vendors from all over. People all the way up from Oregon, vendors from Southern California came up. And it wasn't just hand-dyed yarn. It was a lot of pottery, a lot of yarn bowls, cups, dish platters, all kinds of beautiful ceramics, hand-painted, fun crafted items. They had a lot of woodworking, a lot of yarn bowls, a lot of spinning wheels, a lot of drop spindles. There's a woodworking shop out of Pinole, California, which when I lived right there, I had no idea that it existed, but they do a lot of the carders, the wool carders, and electric spinning wheels, and of course, foot-powered spinning wheels like I have. And man, we had a great time. So many vendors. I saw a couple local celebrities. Teresa from Phoenix Gate was there with her charming husband. And I recognized Heather from Heather Yarn Co. She was there. Oh, we had a great time. It was so much fun. Little backstory. When I went 2 years ago, they had a sheep shearing demonstration. And a local professional that shears sheep was there, and he does a demonstration on how he calms the sheep, his equipment that he uses, and how it gets a little warm, and the different sheep that he shears and how many times, just questions and answers galore. And at the end, he welcomes anybody that wants some to have the wool that he's demo sheared. Did I grab some wool, because I'm at the wool festival and the idea was I can do this. I can spin this into yarn. Look at all that beautiful yarn laying on the barn floor. I did. I grabbed a whole bag full of wool and I brought it home and I did the 200-step process of cleaning it, picking it, combing it out, and then I put it in this cute little tote. I invested in some wire dog brushes. I have 2 of them. And started working it. Got myself a drop spindle. And started in with the best that I can and will improve from there 2 years ago. I pick it up occasionally, but it really is time consuming and it takes away from my actual crochet time. So honestly, it is a side hobby. This year, Sarah and I went to the sheep demonstration and they said, you can have wool with the sheep we've already sheared, help yourself. And I thought, no way. I still have yarn from wool that's not yarn from 2 years ago. No, Sarah, I don't need any wool. And then it started looking at me and then it started talking to me, and a booth that we went to slightly before. I have tons of pictures at the end and I'll put notations. I found a bag and it was empty. Look, trick or treat. And it's a classic bucket with yarn and it was empty because I just bought the tote. Ooh, it smells sheepy. It hasn't been cleaned, hasn't been touched. There's vegetation and all kinds of muck and yuck in it. I grabbed wool. I grabbed wool. So poop and all. Look at that. But that's not all, my friends. Because I was carrying another tote that only had a couple of items in it at that point. Hooked on wishing crochet. Remember my yarny chicken? At that point, it only had minimal things in it. I have tripled my inventory. Oh, man, that bag was good. It was secure. So it's still in pelts. You can see it's in sheets where it's sheared straight off of the sheep. And we have, you know, foxtails and burrs and all kinds of things in it. So the first step is I need to get a large tote, and I need to put just a couple of drops of Dawn liquid detergent in it. The lanolin's strong. I can feel the oil. I need to put a couple of drops of Dawn liquid detergent and some room temperature water. And I need to very easily put all this wool down in that bath and try and slightly agitate it and get some of the debris out and pour it out, and do that a couple of times. And as I'm putting it in, I'm gonna hand pick as much as the vegetation out as possible. That's step one. So if you'd like to go along the process with me, well, I guess that's step two. Step one was not listening to my Jiminy Cricket and bringing home another project. It was so much fun. So did that. Oh my gosh, that's not even the first thing we did. The first thing we did, we walked through a vendor hall full of wool that's already been processed and colored. Yeah. I can make this go a long way. And what is this? This is fiber from Pan's Garden. Wild and wonderful hand-spun yarn and other fine fiber creations. This is Mariah. It's 70% blue face Lancaster, 30% fire starter, which is a synthetic. That's the glamour and glitz you can see. It's 4 ounces and it was $19. It was a splurge, but a gifted splurge I'm deeply appreciative of. Isn't it absolutely beautiful? I'm gonna make this stretch and go a long way. I'm not sure if I wanna do this all by itself, which is a great idea, or if I wanna mix it with my clean stuff and make it go even further. I might be able to get a sweater quantity out of it if I mix it with, it's gorgeous. Such a luxurious item to have. Lots of vendors like that, a lot of yarn that's already ready to work with. So many different fibers. Yes, we had wool, alpaca, yak, camel, but there was also items that I've had no idea. I've heard of bamboo, but did you know that they take rose stems and they treat it, and just like they do bamboo, and break it down into a luxurious, shiny, fine fiber? They make rose yarn. Yeah. And there were a couple other plants that I had noticed that they did that with. You learn so much when you get with your fiber community and see what they're doing. Let's see, what else? Oh, I noticed one vendor booth. What was the vendor booth name? Oh, it's not on my card. Well, Camilla Vad is the designer of this pattern. It's a sweater that she had on display, and then she put these cards on each one of the patterns. I've noticed that people put tags saying, you know, what fibers they use, what pattern they use, where you could find the pattern and that sort of thing. But she made these note cards, which is amazing because pictures get lost in our phone in events like that, or we just forget what we saw. You're seeing so much, you lose it. But if you could take this card home with you, now I can use this QR code to purchase and find the pattern and materials. But she's also put sizing notes, fiber requirements. So if you're standing there in front of a wall of fiber, you can pull what you need, get your card, take it home. You've got a project bag. You should buy a project bag. It's just, this is incredible. It's notes on the go, so that when you get home and you're looking through your loot bag, you don't forget anything that you really wanted to remember. Marvelous idea. I'm gonna do this one next. There was a booth that has the yarn ball holders, and she had it set up in 3 stations like a Build-A-Bear. You pick your base, oh man, there were so many different colors, patterns of glitter, design. This one yelled at me. I was like, I'm going home with you. I was like, okay, come home with me. And then we have the yarn stem, the spike. So many different colors and fun combos. I couldn't be matchy-matchy. I just couldn't decide. It looks like little iridescent bubbles in there. Oh, beautiful. Super simple. If you have a 3D printer or you have some sort of, man, you could make this out of wood. You can make this out of so many different things, such simple components. You put your yarn cake on there, or your little donut on there. I think I have a little donut right here. Let's see. This down here is a project that Sarah and I started. I'd love to share it with you. Put your little yarn ball on there. Then the little strap, I picked the little purpley vinyl one. I got purple and turquoise and get all the colors going. Okay. Oop, there we go. I'm left-handed, so I throw it on my right wrist. And you're working as you go. Look at me. So fancy. That was fun. That was fun. I will definitely get a lot of use out of this. I took a picture of the booth's name. I think they do have an online presence. I'm pretty sure all of them have an online presence. Something bee. Hive? Bee. In the pictures, when I do my little parade, I will put at the bottom yarn on the go or yarn ball holder, so that I remember that's the company that had all the fun combos. I did the Build-A-Bear. Oh, let's see. There was two sweet ladies working a booth. The one lady said she was getting out of the yarn knitting and she was starting to do felting more. She was selling all of the yarn that she had there, destashing, for $2 each. $2 each. She just wanted it to find a good home. And she had boxes and boxes of magazines. And in the front of the boxes, she had knitting, crochet, Tunisian, and she had gone through them and separated them out. She only had 6 crochet magazines left. They were 50 cents each, or 3 for $1. And she had 6. So I bought all 6 of them, brought them home, and Sarah and I looked through them in the evening. It was fun. The fibers that I found. Okay, so this type of fiber, don't know the style. I need to research it because I've been coming up with quite a bit of these. That last thrift store haul, I believe it's still right here. I found a peachy colorway. It's not right here. But I found 3 of 6 of the peachy colorways, but it's this, I don't even know how to describe it. I would say it's kinky. Beautiful colors. It's very rich. I think it's got a lot of colors in it. I think it would go with anything that I had. Originally, it says Mountain Corvallis. Not Corvallis, Oregon. Looks like an M. Oh, this is 100% merino wool, 360 yards. It's called Canyon. $2. I bought it because of the texture, and I have some white, peach, and I think some deep blue. Somehow all of these are going to come together. But then she also had this one. Isn't that lovely? Purples and blues and pinks. Boucle. Yeah, that's what boucle is. Bouquet blue. Is that a fiber or a style of the yarn spinning? Boucle. I think that's, we're going to do some research. See, every bit of this is education. I think that's lovely. And they're not necessarily going to go together, but with all the other ones I've been collecting, when I make garments or I make something, I want to keep likes together. $2 each. Lucky fine, lucky fine. And then I've been working on that baby stuff, and in spring we always have so many babies coming around. She had some Ella Ray. Oh, donuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 of them. Each one of these, it had quite a bit of yardage when I was looking at it. Made in Romania. Ooh, it's international. Let's see. Oh, I guess it doesn't say how many yards. That seems silly. Somewhere on here, I'm sure it says how many yards. It's enough for a baby garment, a baby blanket. It is, I think it had a lot of cotton in it. 50% cotton, 45% viscose, and 5% silk. Baby worthy. And it's neutral. It's got like a little stripey to it. Very nice. Found that. Ooh! And there was this little tiny roll. I shoved it down in my project bag. I'm excited to share that with you. What? It's in the living room. Well, I got a little roll of some silk that had unicorn colors in it. I'll share that with you in just a little bit, but that was part of that booth. Magazines. She had Interweave Crochet. Interweave Crochet, Interweave Crochet. Oh, these are all Interweave Crochet. That's cool. I didn't notice that. Spring 2014. Which here in California, it doesn't really get very hot. Sorry, it doesn't get very cool. It's the heat affecting my brain. So I tend to not pick up winter issues. I really like the summery ones. I'll just dress in layers because it doesn't really get cool enough. I found the Betty sweater. I love that. I found Lady Gray tunic. Some leggings and a tank top. Very, very cute. And the third one I found, Martha cardigan. I like the breakup in this one. I'd make the sleeves just a little bit longer. I love those quarter sleeves. There we go. So this one had 3 patterns in it. After I got home, I didn't even look at them when I was there. I just picked them up. Figured there might be something. I have a hard time going to a bookstore or magazine or paying for a full price. This would have been $8. I have a hard time paying $8 for a magazine unless there's at least, give me 2 patterns that I honestly want to make. This one had 3. I would have paid $8 for it. But 3 for $1, I'll pay that too. These magazines had patterns in them that I like, that I might reference back to in my library, but they didn't have any patterns that were irresistible that I need to make right now. Spring 2010. I made a similar one like this recently. Summer 2014 had some nice things in it. Winter 2011 had a lot of freehand motifs, a lot of instructions, tips. It shows you exactly how to make that one, but a lot of tips and tricks on how to make it all mesh and combine together. without pulling all your hair out. Fall 2007. So I'll definitely look closer at these. I mean, there's some beautiful, beautiful patterns that maybe the perfect yarn will come to my life, or I'll look at it again and something will just click. Love having magazines around. What else? There was a huge long line of food trucks with kettle corn and barbecue and all different kinds of international trucks going down the line. That was fun. They had a water station, which it hooked to the hose, had a long hose going back to just this sink looking device. And when I peeked inside the sink, I was like, they're giving us hose water. When I looked into the back of the sink fixture, it had a whole bunch of filters on it. And man, it was cold, it was crisp, it was just what we needed to refresh on the second part of our journey. Lots of places to sit. It doesn't mean we always took the time out that we needed to sit and relax. When we got there at the beginning of the day, it opened at 10. We got there, about that time. It seemed like we had all day. We have all day, and there's not a whole lot, it's just a small fairground. Time flies when you're having fun. I don't know where all the hours went. We looked at everything. We talked to everyone. These two antisocial ladies, we were social butterflies. We met so many interesting characters. We had a good time. So by the time we got to that water, we needed to refresh and reset. It was nice that they offered that. It was, I don't know, if it wasn't 100 degrees or a bit over, it felt every degree of it. Heather from Heathered Yarn Co. was there with her associate and BFFs and beautiful friends. I purchased some hair clips. I couldn't resist the freaking bats. Look at the glittery one. My hair is kind of thin. It's long, but it's pretty thin. So these smaller clips are perfect because it doesn't, keeps it out and up, but it doesn't weigh it down so much. He's got little gem eyes. And I found a moth. Cool. Got those. Need to visit her. Her shop is in Grass Valley. Not too far from home. Let's see, an hour from here to Sacramento. And her shop is about maybe an hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours, which is wonderful for just a day road trip. Leave out kind of earlier in the morning, plan on some coffee along the way and an excellent lunch and some dinner on the way home. And it's a cute little town that, not really my season, but at Christmas time, it is decked out like a Hallmark channel. So cute. So I need to head that way. That's a northern road trip I need to take. But reflecting back on my southern friends, not sure if you're familiar with Z's channel. Everybody knows Z. Zola ZNRJ3. I'll tag her in the description box because this is her friend. Z always shares her self-care, her LoLo, little bag of love. So she is a vendor out of Southern California. Let me see if I have some contact. I will tag everything I possibly can in the description box below. LoLo Body Care. Thank you to the moon and back. This lady is wonderful. So sweet, so calm, so patient. And at the end of a very long day, this was the last booth that I just had to rest my tired dogs at. Everything smelled so amazing, so delicious. I wanted to eat it. I wanted to taste all of it. And she joked and said, they are organic, healthy ingredients. You could eat it. Now, this isn't all that I purchased because the girls attacked me when I came in the door and they wanted their souvenirs, so they took quite a few cents. These are called Loves. They're just little palm size containers, and it is a body salve, a butter that you could use anywhere, and it's so lightweight and it's easy to keep in your purse or your wallet. It's just a little on the go, keep it from getting dry. I wish you could smell these. Honeysuckle smells like you left your window open in the summer. Winter's Bliss. It is magical. Every time I smell Winter Bliss, it is layer upon layer of different scents. When I first smell it, it kind of clears out your nose and sinuses with a peppermint. When you smell it again, there's an edge of maybe like a eucalyptus. There's a clove layer, and at the end is like, when you smell it again or it's stayed on you for a while, there's like a, I want to say a warm vanilla. Amazing. It's magical. How do you put layers on scents? Botanic gin. That one's hard to describe. It's definitely got the juniper. Nola took my ginger snap. Lily picked what did Lily pick? Oh gosh, I can't remember. She picked 2 of them, I think. Don't tell Nola, but Lily got 2 of them. These are amazing, absolutely amazing, and an excellent price. I think these were only like $3. And she does have an online presence. When you put them on your hands, they're not greasy. It absorbs into your skin. Deep layer absorption, because even after you wash your hands, you still feel moisturized. She's got beeswax in it. What is the oil? Oh, there's a few different kinds of oil. There's hemp seed oil. There's vitamin E oil. There's a lot of oils in these, and that might be why they're so penetrating, moisturizing in each level. But how to get a big body bar of blackberry sage. Oh, I think this one does have the lanolin. I can already smell it. I didn't open it. I can... It does. It smells like blackberries. And then that sage scent comes in. I figure if I cover myself in sage, no evil spirits can get in, right? Man, I wish you could smell that. It's a solid bar. And just the warmth of your hand starts, it's got a thing at the bottom. The warmth of your hand starts melting it a little, so you could put it in your hand and warm it up a little, and then coat your whole body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. This stuff is amazing. I should try eating it. Yeah, it's got olive oil, cocoa butter, hemp oil. This is really, really nice stuff. And the woman was so sweet, so nice, so passionate about her. I don't want to say it's her career, but it's more than a hobby. She's so successful in spreading her items from all over California. I'll see if I can find a website for you to look at and put it in the description box. We did so much, I can't possibly tell you all of it. There was also a dog demonstration where they had some cattle dogs, some border collies that were trained to work with the sheep. That's always fun to watch. And they have like stadium seating, so you can sit down and rest. There were quite a few people knitting and crocheting, just taking a break from the day in the shade. And then they had barn stalls set up for the 4-H. And then they were also selling some fibers from their animals. And they had a sheep to shawl contest where each individual person got their raw wool, they processed their wool, they spun their wool, they picked a pattern, they colored their wool or used the natural color of the fibers, and they made a shawl out of it, and they were judged on that, and there were lots of ribbons given. There was a haul set up for wool, raw wool in big, huge bags. with report cards on them, and they were rated on the texture, the cleanliness, the length of the staple on the wool, how long the wool was, judged on color, appearance, just judged on all kinds of stuff. And they won ribbons for that. And then there was a whole section where it was silent auctioned off. And then there were tables set up where you could just buy the bags of wool, 3 bags full. Some of the bags were as low as $20. And then I saw it going up to like $200. And we were there at the very end of the day. So I don't even know if that was the full range. But if someone wanted to get into the raw deal, it's completely affordable. Or if you're an expert, or you just want to start at the top, there was some very luxurious, wonderful sheep pelts in there. I had a great time. I really, really did. And when we got home, we laid out all of our stuff and looked at all our goodies and our items. Sarah's gonna make a video on all of the treasures that she found and all of the pictures that she took, and I highly encourage you to go to her channel. I'll link her channel. No pressure. She'll get that video up when she gets a chance. We came home, we went to dinner, did some little, listened to some drunk karaoke. Soberly, we enjoyed some drunk karaoke. In the morning, we got some breakfast sandwiches out of the kitchen, and we started a project that we've been putting together and assembling since before the first time we met when I drove down to LA for Brandon's work training. But we finally have a little bit of enough that I can share the beginning of a beautiful process with you. The pattern we picked is Ballerina. It's a beautiful textured cardigan with so much going on. And it's by Agnieszka Redditch. And I believe, oh, this was my first Ralvery purchase. I've never purchased the pattern on Ralvery before, so I purchased it and I printed it out. Didn't want to lose it. Printed it in color because it's marvelous. It is mostly written in chart. Agnieszka is bilingual, trilingual. She does a lot of different languages for this pattern. So in order to make it transcribe easier, she did a lot of written pattern, which I can't really show you. Her little shop logo is adorable, and I can share that with you. It's a little crochet key cats. Isn't that cute? Absolutely adorable. So this is the pattern. We went through lots and lots of yarn choices, going back and forth with pros and cons on all of them. And I decided I wanted a cotton. And the reason why I want a cotton, I sweat. I'm always hot. I don't do good with temperature changes. In the winter time, I don't really bundle up much. So I want a cotton, and I want to be able to wear it at any time. About a year ago, I was at Goodwill, and I found all of these cotton donuts. Whoop. It is made in Mesopotamia. It is the Saint Topaz. Found all of these. I think I looked it up on Ralvery at one point. Very luxurious, nice, high quality cotton. I got all of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 10 balls for $4. Goodwill didn't know what they had. These usually go for about 12. And then that was 10. I think I had a total of, I've used 2. I had a total of 15 balls. And then I bought another 6, which really doesn't translate in price, but I don't care because it's worth $12 a ball. Another $4.99, and this had 6, and it was all stapled up. So I've been holding on to that for a very special project, and I feel this is going to be an item that I am going to wear and enjoy. The case came from my Sierra Nevada yarn crawl. I went to the Jimmy Bean Wool Factory, and they do kits, And this was one of the accessories that they put in one of their kits. It's a pattern case holder. I forget the company's name now. They usually do project backpacks and bags, and they're an oiled canvas. So I picked up a couple of these, and it'll keep my pattern nice and straight. I could take it out, flip the pages, and just pop it back in. It's more durable than keeping it in my file folders, or just keep my pattern nice and neat while I'm working on it. And then of course I flip it and turn it to the current pages I'm working. How far did I get? Sarah and I sat on Sunday morning to afternoon, and we worked up together we worked up about 10 rows together of the pattern. So this is the collar. On the edge of each of these, we're working in rows. There's a nice little, this is where the buttons will go. This side or the other side, not sure. Oh, there's no buttonholes in this side. This is the knot. I'm gonna put the buttons on this side. And then there's a little front post ridge here. It's kind of hard to see. And then we did some front posts and back post textures. This color bit is the spool of silk that I got. Purple, pink, blue, into like a turquoisey, into a blue. So I incorporate that into a couple rows around the neckline. And then I'm gonna put some at the cuffs, and I'm gonna put some at the bottom just to add a little something to my cardigan. We're working up the yoke. I've gotten to the first pattern detail row. It's gonna look amazing on top of a blue, white, black top. My skin will poke through. I think the texture will be really pretty. So I've gotten to the first little detail boop. The idea is to keep us both on the same page as we're working. Is the pattern graph is noted about 10 rows on each page. So we worked one page together, and then, well, I think she still had one more row to go before it got really close. It's 5 hours for her to get to my house, so we're pushing it on working that much. But we worked 5 rows, almost 10 rows together, and then we're gonna wait until we both get to that. Then we'll turn the page with the next 10 rows, and then we'll take our time working the next 10 rows, and then depending on who's finished or who had a lot going on, we'll pause and we'll wait. And then when we're both back to the finish with that page, then we'll move forward. So if I get there before she does, I'm just gonna tuck it away in my project bag and wait. If she gets there before I do, she'll wait for me. And so we'll get this completed about the same time. But we wanted something leisurely, the same, to work on together when we get to visit one another. And that'll encourage us both to make the trip north or south to visit. Here's my button side. I put a little stitch marker on it, and then here's a little button that needs a stitch marker. I think unicorn, Pegasus, unicorn. I'm gonna have to find some unique buttons for this special project. I'll have to look on Etsy and see what I can find. Yeah. It's not stiff, it's cotton. It'll lighten up as I wear it. It'll stretch into its stitches nicely. It's nice and holey. The whole pattern has design in it. It's light, even though I added that bulk in there. That's okay. This is a garment I think I'm really gonna enjoy wearing all year with my weather. We did that, had a great time. We stopped at a little produce market and bought some delicious looking apples and pears, and they had a couple of white peaches left. It is the very tail end of the very last peaches for the year, so they're not even very big, but they're beautiful and they taste amazing. And so I bought a handful of those. Man, I know I'm just missing tons of stuff in my adventure. I took pictures. I took pictures through the whole time. Oh, the neon yarns. There was a whole booth full of black light reactive yarns. I took some amazing pictures, tagging those in there in the end. Teresa, Sarah, and I took a picture. We'll put that in there. I just took some pictures of anything that just caught my eye that was just amazing, and I want you to feel like you got to go with me. Next year, first weekend of October, travel to Northern California and let's meet up. Let's go to the Lambtown Festival. Come on. There's yarny people. We need to socialize and bump shoulders and say hi. We're already 40 minutes into our visit, and I really should let you go so that I can get all those pictures together. You're probably wondering where I am, or if I just left town with the circus when Lambtown Festival shifted up to go. I think the next one is in Pomona, and it is SoCal Fiber Fest. SoCal Fiber Fun. The next one's in Pomona, California. It's during Thanksgiving. I think it's the 23rd and the 24th. Sadly, I will not be able to attend. I have reservations at my dinner table for a big old helping of turkey, mashed potatoes, and green bean casserole. And I'm not sure if they do it there every year, but I'm starting to notice a lot more fiber festivals popping up. In June, there's the Bay Area Fiber Crawl, which is just right here, San Francisco Bay Area. It just loops around the bay. And then Lambtown Festival is first week of October. November is going to be the Pomona one. Way back in September, which I mixed up my timeline, is a Sierra Nevada Yarn Crawl. So I'm noticing it's spreading. And it all started with the New York, oh my goodness, I can't remember what it's called. What's the big one? The great big one that started this all. What is a huge fiber festival? Oh, I always watch the playlists on YouTube because so many people go to it. Oh man. Leave it in the comment box below. Leave me a comment. What is a huge, huge East Coast Fiber Festival? It takes place in, I think, New York, upstate New York. Thank you for visiting with me. I'm going to do a parade of pictures. Stay tuned. Take care. I will see you very, very soon. Bye, friends.